Beyond the Game, folks. Justin, Super Bowl ratings. Did this year's power outage fiasco drive viewers away from ads to Beyonce's performance? We are covering it all next. The Super Bowl isn't just a football game, really. Let's be honest, it's a cultural phenomenon. So let's talk about the big stories, the big picture here beyond just the game itself. You had the blackout. You have now the ratings, which we have just learned, and the lovely Beyonce. I am joined from Washington by Jawn Murray, entertainment journalist and all-around pop culture expert, who I hear was in New Orleans, so we're going to talk about that. Also, Lauren Ashburn, the editor-in-chief of the Daily Download. And in Atlanta today, my friend Monty Durham, the fashion director and stylist for TLC's Say Yes to the Dress Atlanta. Hello, all of you. Welcome. Lauren, let me begin with you because you have a blackout, something like 35 minutes. We hear the ratings now, 108 million viewers. So this is the third most watched Super Bowl, down from the last two. You think the blackout helped or hurt the game in the ratings?
Actually, at the very beginning, I thought it was going to hurt. I thought, oh boy, the first half was lousy. Now the blackout. And I thought, you know, CBS would be in big trouble losing a lot of ratings. Although it seemed like it was a party thing. You know, people were now laughing and talking what's going to happen with the blackout. And then you had this great third and fourth quarter where the game actually was a game. And it probably did more help than it did harm. Although I do think, Brooke, that they should have come out with more information than they did. You know, they wrote off the terrorist threat right away, but then it was like your cable company, right? You call your cable company and you say, when's it going to be on?
Let me get to that because there's been some criticism on CBS today, the failure to really go into reporting mode, right? So let me just quote Bob Raisman, sports columnist for New York Daily News. This is part of what he wrote today. There was no outrage, no questioning how a thing like this could happen on the NFL's biggest night of the year. He goes on, no, that ain't the way it works. The idea is to find an NFL suit, stick a microphone in his or her face, and ask the following question: what the hell is going on? John, do you agree?
Yeah, Brooke, I mean, you know, give us an NFL official, but I was wondering why they didn't, like, roll the stage back out there and have Destiny's Child sing a cappella or something. I mean, entertain
They probably didn't have the power for it, John.
Blackout.
Didn't have the power for it. Lauren, do you agree? I mean, is this fair criticism on CBS?
You know, I emailed with Jeff Fager, who's the president of CBS News, and he said, you have to remember that CBS Sports is not a news organization. If they're not making themselves available, if reporters are asking or sports reporters are asking and they are not answering, there's only so much you can do.
Let me play some sound. This is NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell talking.
There's no indication at all that this was caused by the halftime show. Absolutely none. So I know that's been out there to say that Beyonce's halftime show had something to do with it. That is not the case from anything we have at this point.
So Monty Durham, it was, I don't know if you saw the tweets during the blackout, it was not Beyonce, it was not Beyonce's blow dryer that they killed the lights. Tell me, what did you think about what she was wearing, that leather thing?
Well, you know, when she first stepped out, I'm thinking, Catwoman? You know, it took me back just a little bit. But you got to remember, I mean, she is an entertainer. And if you're going to entertain, this is where you need to pull out all the stops. And, you know, luckily there was no wardrobe malfunction with this. But I think she gave a good show here. And I think, you know, she played appropriately dressed to what she was singing and what she was doing. And I think she looked like a true star, a rock and roll here. I mean, I think she pulled out all the stops. A lot of people are talking, and you know, Marilyn Monroe used to say, if I go out and nobody's talking, then I haven't done a good job. So.
No. Would have talked anyway, Brooke. I mean, but the problem is you were sitting there. Were you sitting there watching this with a 6-year-old daughter? Or a 7-year-old daughter?
I was watching last night, and people I was sitting with were saying, woo, this is a little sexy for a Sunday night.
But what do you expect from Beyonce? I mean, she is an entertainer, and if you know she's going to put a ring on it, you know what she does. I mean, in her past entertainment, we can surely much assure that when she comes out, there is going to be a lot of movement. It's going to be skanky, and it's going to be entertaining, whether
John,
we
let me get you to weigh in on this because
not only what she had on, Brooke, was no different than what the cheerleaders would have worn.
Absolutely.
Well, John, also she's singing, she's dancing. You know, there was much ado, some would say, about nothing when it came to that inauguration voice track controversy. Are we
Right.
moving past that now, John?
Clearly, Thursday, Brooke, and I know you were on live right after it, it was a master class in public relations, the way she handled that controversy at our NFL press conference.
Agreed.
She sang all the way live. It was a wonderful 13 minutes. She typically sings live. It was a great vocal presentation, great musicianship, great tone, great singing. You couldn't ask for anything more.
Right.
Can we
I disagree.
You disagree? Go ahead, Lauren, jump in.
I don't think that the voice was great. I was sitting in a room full of people who were saying, wow, this doesn't sound good. She doesn't sound great. And a lot of people were saying, hey, bring on the lip syncing. We would have gotten a better performance.
You know, I have to say, I did love a little Destiny's Child, but I feel like you have performances and then you have the Super Bowl. I mean, I was almost expecting Jay-Z to pop out with like fireworks behind him. Was anyone else disappointed he didn't show up?
A little bit.
I would have liked to have seen him. I know he was backstage. They posted a photo together online right after the performance. But look, it was Beyonce's night, and he likes to let her shine and do her own thing. And this was her show. She put it together. She arranged it. And I don't care what Lauren says. She sounded amazing. I can get an ear doctor over to help you with all of your friends.
Hey, quickly, all three of you, prediction time. Who would you love to see perform next year halftime show? Lauren, I'm beginning with you.
Oh, that's terrible. U2. I love U2.
You'd like U2?
I would be in for that, yes.
All right, Monty, who'd you like to see?
Well, you know, I'm an oldie but goodie. I'd say let's bring Cher back. Let's see what she can do for us. I'd like to see her do something for us.
Speaking of lip syncing,
right?
I vote New Edition. I love New Edition. They are the Beatles of my generation. Bring New Edition to New Jersey next year.
New Edition, they've been making a comeback. Who knew? All right, stand by, everyone. We've got to talk Super Bowl, lads. A hit or miss this year? Wait until you see this new technology. This is pretty cool. That judged audience reaction. We're talking physiology here in real time. That is next.
And they keep moving it that way.
John, Lauren, Monty, let me bring you back in. And first, let me just say on that Dodge ad, when you do the math, which I did quickly earlier, you know, if we're talking $4 million, and this is what, 30 seconds? That was a 2-minute ad. That is a $16 million ad. That doesn't even include the making of the ad. John, what was your favorite ad?
I like the Taco Bell commercial with the
retirees,
with the veteran people, the retirees. I would have liked to see the Marla Gibbs and Larry King, but I thought it was hilarious. I could see it as like a mockumentary on television.
I kept thinking Cocoon off the top. You guys remember that old movie Cocoon? Lauren, what was your favorite?
My friends were saying that's going to be us in 50 years, having a good time. But I love the Clydesdale one, and that was also the top of the USA Today ad meter pick. That one, to me, just pulled at my heartstrings and made me teary, and I wanted to see the reunion. And I agree with your panelist who said, I probably would not have sat through that whole thing had I not been at a Super Bowl party.
Right.
It's interesting. Did anything not work for you all?
No, I think
Go Daddy.
Right. I think the Budweiser was actually the most poignant one, and I think, you know, as an animal activist myself, I think when you look back at that, the connection between that, and whether you're in love with an animal or another person, or you're just touching and embracing, and to see that return, and I think with the tragedies that have taken place here in the U.S. here recently, I think it's good to see that, and we're pulling back into more family. We're going to take care of ourselves. We're going to take care of things around us. And I think this sends it that way.
Hang on, actually, I want to go back to John because I feel like you're about to disagree with everyone, which I love. 20 seconds, John. You were about to not give love to GoDaddy.
Right, you said what did not work. GoDaddy was gross. It was hideous. It freaked me out. It was ineffective. Bring back Joan Rivers. That worked.
Yeah, that didn't work for me really either. All right, coming up next, we're going to add some voices here to the panel, and we're going to talk